This is an important notice from Central Michigan University.
At this time, please shelter in place where you are.
Double murder on the campus of Central Michigan University. What we're learning about a mid-Michigan student who allegedly shot and killed his own parents on campus.
This is crazy.
It makes me want to leave the school.
And the manhunt underway to bring him in. NBC 25's special coverage of the killing on the CMU campus starts right now. And tonight we start with new information about the CMU shooting that left 2 parents dead and a teenager on the run. Sources tell NBC 25 that 19-year-old James Davis Jr. used his father's gun to kill his parents. It has also been confirmed that his parents picked Davis up from the hospital this morning after police say he was taken there last night because of an apparent drug overdose. CMU police say the victims, you see them right here, James Davis Sr. and Diva Davis. All 3 are from Plainfield, Illinois. Sources tell us Davis dropped his cell phone on the railroad tracks when he dumped his clothing. A large number of law enforcement, they are still sweeping through campus and around town trying to track down Davis's whereabouts. The shooting happened on a day when parents were picking up their children on campus for the start of a week-long spring break. All planned campus events and activities are canceled until further notice, and officers will be searching in and around campus throughout the night. NBC 25's Amanda Chodnicki joins us live where law enforcement has been focusing a major part of their search. Amanda, how are things out there right now?
Dave, it seems quiet, but when the helicopter comes circling overhead, as it still is, it's still very loud and very real for the residents in this area. Not only is that helicopter up there, but I've seen officers still in camouflage searching wooded areas like the one behind me. Now, residents say until our 19-year-old suspect, James Davis Jr., is caught, they're not going to be sleeping too soundly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard all day.
The quiet college town of Mount Pleasant was swarmed with multiple law enforcement agencies from across the state.
I saw SWAT teams lining the river. I saw a SWAT team riding in a boat.
All searching for 19-year-old James Davis Jr., who police say shot and killed his parents on Central Michigan University's campus.
You never think it's going to happen in our community, and it did.
Officials say Davis Jr. left campus headed northbound. For a majority of the day, police focused in on this area, combing through the woods and searching the bordering neighborhoods.
So I think this is what we're going to hear all night is that.
Stacy Hunter, who lives in one of the nearby neighborhoods, says she's been on edge all day.
It's kind of scary because you don't know, is he in my backyard? You know, is he? I mean, my husband went and locked up the shed and the camper and everything just because you don't know where he's at.
While Hunter says the strong police presence has helped to ease her mind.
So that was a blessing too, knowing that, you know, they're not taking this lightly.
Until Davis Jr. is found, she says it's going to be a long night.
No, I'm not going to sleep soundly.
And Hunter was right. You could still hear that helicopter overhead, and it's going to continue to fly overhead until this suspect is caught. Again, if you see anything suspicious, know anything at all, you're asked to call 911. For now, live here in Mount Pleasant, Amanda Chodnicki, NBC 25 News.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Well, as the search continued throughout the day, minutes turned to hours for parents anxiously awaiting to see their children. NBC 25's Drew Moore was there as families were reunited.
Yeah, that's right. Parents left to sit for hours in a parking lot at a hotel here on campus, wondering if their son or daughter was safe, communicating only through text messages or phone calls as the gunman roamed through town. Well, we caught up with one man who took a 3-hour nerve-wracking ride up here, and we were there when he was reunited with his daughter again. Steve Wiley left his home in Warren early this morning to pick up his daughter at Central Michigan University. That's when he heard something might be wrong.
But I just basically listened to the radio all the way up to find out what happened. I didn't know if it was some crazy guy running around shooting students or what.
The thoughts racing through his mind as he raced through traffic.
Yeah, I was scared. You never know what's going to happen nowadays.
While police searched Campbell Hall, searching high and low for the shooter, Courtney Wiley was sitting in her room in the next tower over when she heard the news.
There's been a shooting, like they heard shots fired, don't go anywhere. And I was like, wow.
Left alone in her dorm room to wonder what might happen next.
Right, like you always think like, oh, it'll never happen to me. But then when it does, it's just really like mind-opening, like how severe like this problem is and how often it really happens.
Hours later at the Comfort Inn off campus, Courtney and her dad finally reunited. Courtney says this tragedy didn't come as a surprise in the world we live in these days.
And sadly, I feel like it's something that you have to get used to nowadays because of just all the occurrences that are happening.
Everything's okay for the father-daughter duo today, thankful to be back together.
It could have been so much worse, or it's scary.
Oh, they're just going to have to sit down and come up with something.
Spring break clearly couldn't come at a better time for the students here on campus. It'll give them at least a couple weeks to digest the tragedy that happened and have each one of them figure out a way on how they're going to move forward and deal with what happened here. Reporting from Mount Pleasant, Drew Moore, NBC 25 News.
Students at Central Michigan were on lockdown for hours. Many are now questioning if they will return after spring break. Famie Redwood has their story.
You come here thinking your school is safe.
On Friday, Central Michigan University was anything but. Student Jaleel Cowan was on lockdown with his fellow students. His parents were worried.
My mom is worrying, my dad was worrying. They just want me to make sure I get home, and I just can't wait to go home. The feeling was so nerve-wracking. Like I don't even want to be here anymore.
Parents waiting to pick up their children for spring break say knowing their children were so close to danger is troubling.
After what's happened in Florida, you just really have those things run through your mind.
I woke up to a phone call from Central saying oh, there's a shooter.
Freshman Madison Kozlowski was asleep when police say 19-year-old James Davis Jr. shot and killed his parents. She was in the same building but 2 floors down. The medical services major says she's forever changed.
You think of Mount Pleasant as this small town in the middle of Michigan. You don't think anything's going to happen here.
Students say their classmates need counseling.
I ran into a couple of people, some girls and guys that was crying, and they were just saying they didn't want to be here anymore.
As Famie Redwood reporting, Governor Rick Snyder spent the day at CMU alongside CMU's president George Ross. Snyder and Ross spent the day meeting with parents and students. They called on the community to come together and help each other out.
We need to continue, though, to support one another during these difficult times. In addition to catching the person, the priority has been on how well we can support the students, the parents that have gone through this event, how well we can support the residents of the Mount Pleasant area. There's been a great rallying of resources.
At some point in the future, as we get through this, we will take a review of our processes, take a review of our policies and procedures. There's always opportunities to learn, but we will dissect this and review this after the fact. But today, we're worried about families today. We're worried about students.
Governor Snyder also said that school safety is not just about K through 12, but also colleges and universities, and that there will be a continuing dialogue. A news conference was held today in Bellwood, Illinois, where the Davis family lived. It has been confirmed that the father of the man who was shot by his son, James Davis Sr., was a part-time patrol officer with the Village of Bellwood Police Department. Bellwood Mayor Andre Harvey says he's stunned by this tragedy.
When we heard of the untimely death that happened at Central Michigan, our officers really took it to heart. They really took it. There was some crying. There was a lot of hugging, but our officers, they stood strong, and they're standing strong today.
Mayor Harvey says Officer Davis was with the department for about 20 years and also served in the military. Vice President Mike Pence was in Detroit tonight, calling school safety the top priority of the Trump administration. Pence offered his condolences for the victims of today's shooting at Central Michigan University.
And the facts are still coming in. Our hearts go out to the fallen, to everyone in the Mount Pleasant community that's been impacted, and especially to the local, state, and federal agencies who are working together as we speak on the apprehension and the investigation. We can be proud of the men and women who serve in law enforcement.
Vice President Pence promised the administration will take strong action to strengthen gun reform. And stay with NBC 25 News for the very latest on this breaking story. Make sure to download the NBC 25 News app so you can get updates on your phone. Well, it's Friday night, and that means Hometown Hoops Playoff Edition. Here's Sports Director Gina Trotman with a look ahead.
As you can see, it's an empty sports department here. Tom Eschen left me, so it's just me. But don't worry, I have a ton of action for you tonight. Champions were crowned as girls district tournament is underway. That includes a great one in tonight's game of the week. I have that coming up for you later on in sports.
And the weekend is here. The beautiful weather has moved in just in time. I'll let you know if it's going to last the entire weekend and when you should prepare for the next round of crazy Michigan weather.
You're watching NBC 25 News at 11 with Dave Bondy, Stephanie Parkinson, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Cagle, and Sports Director Gina Trotman.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Michelle Marsh. An explosion in Afghanistan killed a young girl and injured dozens of others. It happened in the eastern part of Kabul. Afghanistan's Ministry of Interior says the explosives were placed in the car of a foreign contractor. Residents in the area say the explosion was a suicide attack. In West Africa, separate attacks on the French embassy and National Army headquarters in Burkina Faso. A number of people were killed and hurt in the attacks in the former French colony. No word on who is responsible for that attack. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Michelle Marsh.
And we have breaking news right now. A shooting investigation is underway in Flint. Let's get out to NBC 25's Famie Redwood live on Fleming Street on the city's north side. Famie?
David, is a very active scene and pretty early in the investigation, so police cannot confirm a lot of stuff with us. What they can tell us is that they know 2 people were shot, possibly a third. They say both people that were shot were taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. You can see there's still a very active scene with 1, 2, and 3 police cruisers still out. The yellow tape was just put up about 15 minutes ago. We spoke to some people who live nearby. They say around 10:30 they heard several shots 2 blocks away. We also spoke to a family who lives on this street. He told us he didn't want to appear on camera because, in his words, he has to live here. But he says living here is like a war zone. He says he doesn't even feel comfortable letting his grandchildren play outside in the yard because there's so many gunshots. He says, in fact, there's a church just across the street. He says that often while people are in church at service, there are gunshots even going on. So he says because of that, he definitely does not allow his grandchildren outside to play. Police are telling us because this is so early, they have to give us a little bit more information later on. We're going to have the very latest on this story on NBC25News.com. In Flint, Famie Redwood, NBC 25 News.
Thank you very much, Famie, and we will be following this story overnight.
Now, your certified NBC 25 Storm Ready forecast.
Good evening, Mid-Michigan. Oh boy, when you can get 2 really good days of weather and get them to land on the weekend, that is looking really good. Let's take a look outside as we take a look at downtown Flint. Roads are in great shape in terms of the weather. We're not dealing with the ice and the snow. The sun's been out really doing its job to melting quite a bit of what we had left over from yesterday. 30 degrees under clear skies, just a little bit of a breeze out there from the north. And that north wind is going to keep the temperatures close to seasonal, maybe just a little bit below the average from time to time, but clear skies right now overhead. And as we take a look at the bigger picture, high pressure is really going to be the dominant feature over the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region for the next couple of days. South winds or southwest winds are moving the showers and clouds to our north with time. And we have that clockwise rotation. So we're getting a little bit of a north breeze around here. And you can see it's kind of drawing in some of that cooler air. We're in the low 30s right now, which is certainly nothing to complain about, but you can see it's a little bit warmer as you look to the west as where they're going to get that southwest breeze tomorrow into the upper 30s quite easily. I think a number of us are going to push it to about 40. Your Mid-Michigan forecast looking like this, looking beautiful. Sunny skies across our southern counties. 40 degrees for tomorrow. Moving to the thumb, about 40 degrees as well. Look for those blue skies all day long. In our central counties, maybe just a little bit cooler there, mid to upper 30s. And northern counties also enjoying some of the upper half of the 30s. with those blue skies. Your weekend forecast right there. Gets a little bit warmer on your Sunday as we push it a little bit higher into that low 40 mark quite easily. And then we got to keep an eye on Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain and snow coming our way. Still a few days to kind of pin things down, but it looks like it could be messy for a day or two around here.
At least Saturday and Sunday, the sun is out. That's good news, but then again, it drops off after that.
It's not 7 days of sunshine is what you're saying, right?
We're getting close.
we are.
If we move to Hawaii, that's what it'll be, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be rather boring, too.
It would be. Thank you, Jamie.
Yep.
Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament and a very big night of high school basketball playoff action. Sports director Gina Trotman up next with Hometown Hoops.
Mid-Michigan's brightest ballers play here on Hometown Hoops. Now let's join your host, sports director Gina Trotman.
Welcome to Hometown Hoops tonight. I am your host, Gina Trotman. My first show riding solo without my partner in crime, Tom Eschen, but that is not why today is a special show. It is our first installment in the postseason. Tonight, district champs are crowned and tickets to regional are punched. Let's start things off with some dance moves from this little cutie at Carmen Ainsworth hosting Flushing tonight. The Raiders show off some length here. Shelby Morrow with 3 from deep for her defending state champs. Down on the other end, it's Morrow again, this time with a short jumper, just barely trickles in. But Carmen is 20-2 for a reason. Going into the night, off the rebound, Aaliyah McQueen with speed and a beautiful look out to the corner. Destiny Strothers just drains it. Carmen Ainsworth wins their district with a 63-45 win. It is now time for our game of the week, a district championship battle between two rivals who are no stranger to the postseason matchup. We are talking Heritage and Midland Dow. The Chargers looking to repeat and knocking them out. The Hawks trying to change that. How's this for game of the week entertainment? Juggling while also taking a bite out of that apple. Pretty incredible. I was very impressed with this. Look at the student section, also impressed. They're loving it. On to game action. Now Heritage up entering the second half, but Dow would not go away. A circus shot from Alyssa Kepner. Hands in the air, she doesn't even know how she got that one in. As in any rivalry game, a tough one here, getting chippy. Maura Joyner, the aggressive spin move, 2 with authority. Heritage still leading, but Jada Gardner makes the 3-point game. A huge basket from deep. Check out that student section, loving every moment, but the Hawks go to take a 7-point lead heading into the fourth. That's a buzzer beater right there. Joyner again. The Hawks put the game away late in this one. You can't beat this passing. Joyner to Madison Camp underneath. Heritage turns the tables this year to knock Dow out 48-36. The Hawks get sweet, sweet revenge.
Anytime you win a big rivalry game, you know, it's a big deal. So, and last year we lost the rivalry in the district, so, you know, every year it's kind of like payback. Now next year they'll want to get some payback, so the rivalry continues.
It feels good. It's kind of sad to see somebody's season ending, but it feels really good to get a district championship.
And how do you feel going forward into regionals?
Oh, excited. We just got to keep pushing, keep practicing together, and stay as one team.
Hawks are your district champ. Nothing beats a good old rivalry. Heritage returns to regionals on Tuesday. Over to Class B now. Packed house at Freeland hosting Bay City. John Glenn with a comfy lead into the second half, but do not count out John Glenn. Abigail Tarrant drives from the top of the key and gets it in through traffic. The sign of a good team, good passing. Look at that connection to Lily Byer. You cannot play defense on that. But speaking of passing, how's this one? Carly McCrum goes across the zone to a wide open Tarrant. She can go outside, she can go inside, nails it, but Freeland, way too much tonight. Autumn Kloa with the cleanup as the Falcons cruise to a 68-21 regional berth. They will play the winner of this one right here. Powerhouse Goodrich hosting Lake Fenton. No need to pass when you see the lane, and you can take it yourself. That's Ryan Darby with the layup off the glass. But the Blue Devils answer right back with one of their own. That's Hannah Gardy. But Goodrich is having one heck of a season. Darby, a great long look to Maddie Volker for the easy basket. Martians off to regionals, 65-48. Let's take a look at some more scores from across mid-Michigan. Clarkson, a big win over Holly. Kingston beats Deckerville 57-29. Birch Run edges Frankenmuth 52-38 in a 1-point battle between Davison and Kersley, but Davison is the one who comes out on top. We are not done just yet. We will continue with district finals after the break with Class C, plus the Grand Blanc boys also playing for a championship tonight. Plus the Big Ten tourney underway in the Big Apple. Are we going to see a Michigan State semifinal? Find out next. But first, we want your pictures out on the sidelines. Share them through Burst. That's on our website. And before we head to break, let's hear from the fans.
We're the Freeland Falcons. You're watching Hometown Hoops on NBC 25.
To Hometown Hoops. Now let's join your host, Sports Director Gina Trotman.
Welcome back, Gina Trotman here with the second half of tonight's Hometown Hoop Show. Let's keep it rolling with championship basketball. A state contender looking to return to familiar ground. City battle between Hamady and host Beecher. Hamady dangerous because they are good inside, they are good outside. That's Jordan McKellar. Look at that follow through from three from the corner. Other end now, Amani Thompson on the rebound. A great look to Serena Rice taking the lane to the basket for the lay-in. Beecher leading, and they hold onto it. It's Rice again playing big underneath for the Bucks as Beecher is crowned champions. The final score tonight, 51-40. Grand Blanc continued their amazing turnaround under first-year coach Mike Thomas. Tonight, the Bobcats are KLAA Conference champions. The Bobcats defeat Novi 69-64. Goliath Mitchell scored 25. Jakara Smith adds 18 after a losing season last year. Grand Blanc hopes this is the first of many trophies to come over the next few weeks. If you want to hear from the Bobcats, just head to our website, NBC25news.com. Michigan State closed. Let's check out a few scores before we head on to Michigan State. Big Rapids defeats Clare. Beaverton defeats Meridian. Cass City falls to USA. And MLS beats Valley Lutheran 44-36. Michigan State now closed the regular season against Wisconsin, just barely squeaking out a 5-point win today. A rematch in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament, and the storyline no different. Wisco seeded 9th in the tournament, and your Spartans, of course, number 1. The Badgers definitely get style points in this one. Brad Davison with the alley-oop to Khalil Iverson for the reverse dunk. Later, Spartans would go to capitalize on the Nick Ward block you see right there. Down on the other end is Flint's own Miles Bridges, ready on the outside, just buries the three for the lead. Second half now, still tight game. Now it's Matt McQuaid from behind the arc. There's 3 as Sparty takes a 5-point lead. Wisconsin with the chance to tie things up with the seconds winding down, but Davison struggles to get the shot off at the buzzer. It's an air ball. That is how it ends. Michigan State stays alive. 63-60 is the final. And on to their rival, the Michigan Wolverines, playing with a vengeance after their blowout loss to Nebraska in the regular season. Mo Wagner making his presence known. The block to Duncan Robinson down on the other end for 2. Sure is nice to have both Mo and Muhammad Ali Abdur Rahman not in foul trouble. There's 3 from him. U of M sure turning the tables from that last meeting. Wagner with 2 more right here of his 20 today. Michigan wins 77-58. Looks like we will be having a U of M MSU in-state rival semifinal battle that's going down tomorrow at 2 p.m. The winner is off to the title game. We are not done just yet. More coming up in tonight's edition of Hometown Hoops. That's coming up right after the break. Plus, who will get my buzzer beater? That's the best performance of the night. Stay with us. We'll be right back. It is now time for my personal favorite part of the night, our buzzer beaters, when I award the best performances of the night right here on NBC 25. And on a night of girls basketball, I am giving my buzzer beater to the Grand Blanc boys. Mike Thomas with incredible progress on this team. Just this season in our tip-off special, we were profiling this team as a brand new squad, brand new coach, and now they're KLAA champs. Grand Blanc just 9-13 last year. Mike Thomas and his team should be very proud. They open up districts against Linden. That's on Monday. One more thing before we do head out. The Red Wings play tonight. They fall 4-3 to Winnipeg. The Pistons also fall 115-106. That is all the time we have tonight for Hometown Hoops. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you right back here this weekend for your Big Ten tournament coverage. Can Michigan repeat with the upset over MSU, or the Spartans win their 14th? For the entire Hometown Hoops team right here at NBC 25, I'm Gina Trotman. Have a great night and a safe and happy weekend, everybody.